presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Belmont Park. Bright sunshine on this Sunday. The temperature will be in the low 60s. Main track is fast. The turf courses are firm. Portable rails are up 9 feet on the widener and 18 feet on the inner. And we have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6. And that carryover is nearly $52,000. In today's first race, there are no changes. Second race, scratch the 5, Stanhope. Second race, scratch number 5, Stanhope. Third race, scratch the 8, Sono Grato. Scratch number 8 out of the third. Fourth race, no changes. Race 5 will kick off the Empire 6. We have the scratches in the fifth. Scratch 2, Queen Tigua. 4, Boston Girl. Scratch 15, Kept Waiting, and 16, Princess Leia. Scratch 2, 4, 15, and 16. A couple of jockey changes. Number 12, Sandra's Mine. The rider is Johnny Velasquez. Velasquez on the 12. Number 13, Tornado Crossing. The rider is Benjamin Hernandez. Benjamin Hernandez on the 13, Tornado Crossing. In the sixth race, these scratches. Scratch 1, Bye Hubby, Hello Money. Scratch 5, Secret Love. 15, Chili Chews, and 16, Dreams Still Wild. Scratch 1, 5, 15, and 16. A rider change on the 2, Captivating Cara to Joey Martinez. Joey Martinez will ride number 2, Captivating Cara, in the 6th. In today's 7th race, scratch the 11 back channel. Scratch number 11 back channel. 8th race, scratch number 3 Binkster. Scratch the 3, Binkster. In the 9th race, scratch 4, Slimy, 7, Glass Ceiling, and 10, Cats Out of the Bag. In the 9th, scratch numbers 4, 7, and 10. And there are no changes in the 10th and final race. Fast and Firm, Empire 6 jackpot carryover of $51,945. We'll come back at 12:30 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 1 p.m. Up next, it's the Sunday edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses as the winter meet here at Belmont continues. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Anthony Stabile on a bitter, cold day here at Belmont Park. It's a good thing neither of us has any hair.
Yes, one of us by design does not have any hair. I wish I
I
had.
cut my
tell
hair
you
short,
what,
too.
I
What
wish
are you
I had
implying?
my old 1990. I was talking about this last night with our friend Mark Hirschman. My old Guido, pushed back, big head of hair
I'd
right
like
now.
you to regrow
It
that.
would
I
be
think
nice.
I think a lot
did
of
it a couple
people
of
would
winters
enjoy
ago.
that.
Everybody made fun of me. So.
Oh, that thing, that was awful. That looked like somebody put that glued
Well,
that
you
thing
know
on
what?
top of your
That
head.
proved that
That really
my-
was like a dead animal
That,
sitting on your
that
head or
proved that I
something.
am now in my 40s. I'm no longer a teenager. Yeah, a little chilly here. It's really the
It's
wind.
not cold. It's a beautiful
lower
day.
mid
It's just
60s is
freezing
beautiful
cold
weather.
here.
That's what we're
The
accustomed
hand's
to
going
here.
under my leg.
We're gonna go to the one arm today. All right.
If you're not going to use that puck,
I'm gonna use it
get
when
it
I have
over
to turn
here.
the page. I mean, you got 3 of them.
I
there.
got a phone. I'll use
Hey,
my
I'll
phone.
use my phone. Here you
No,
go.
no,
I'll
no,
use
no,
my
no,
phone.
no. I don't. I got the
All right.
phone. I got everything. Believe me.
For those
we
of you
need
who
it
like
all.
to see us bicker, it started a minute and a half into the program over a hockey puck. Which, by the way, you see that the front of the bricks up
Yeah,
at the,
the
at
Islanders
the arena? That's
arena
pretty cool.
is starting to really take shape. If anybody ever drives by, you'll take
Yeah.
a look and see it. You can
That's impressive.
really see it happening. I
This is
agree.
the second building I've seen. In 06, 07, I was going to a lot of afternoon Met games. So I basically watched Citi Field rise from the rubble to what it is now, and this is pretty cool that we're going to be a part of this, and it's
Popcorn
literally
or
a
hot
stone's
dogs?
throw. Both.
What you're selling?
I was selling. No, I was selling. We used to sit in the upper deck, right behind a plate. Great seats. Like, were like $12 a piece. Those were the lean times, not physically, but
You know what's
financially.
great? The echo we're getting from wherever that's coming from. Anybody
I
wants
like to hear that. Don't you
anybody
like
wants
to
to
hear
unplug
yourself?
that echo? That would really be. What is that? What is that thing over there, Kyle?
Technology.
Kyle,
Andy.
what? Kyle, hello.
Analog.
There's something in over there that's echoing everything we say.
it
so
Ocean's 12?
a second and a half after we speak,
We're analog players in a digital world,
really
folks.
horrendous.
That's what the problem
you
is.
can
Yeah.
crawl under. I know this should be a chore. That was
a good move.
wow,
That was very spry of
our
you.
cameraman Kyle just did a
Wow.
full.
He even did like.
Oh, by the way,
he
this
even
is
did like a turnaround.
Thank
Did
you.
you see the turnaround? It
This
was
is
like-
brought
that
to you
was-
by Saratoga Water, by the way.
This
okay.
was like watching Sia's chandelier video. He did
Oh,
like
the
a
TV
actual
was
spin.
the sound was on the TV.
Oh.
Kyle, you're an electronics
Wow.
genius. I mean, not only do you know how to dress for cold weather, unlike Steve.
Steve was braving it yesterday.
He was up here in shorts and a tank top. I
Yes, he
think.
was.
Anyhow, race number 1. We'll get into
Actually, first we have to tell you to go over to Naira
oh yeah,
Bets.
thank you. Forgot about all the important stuff.
They have to go bet at match
Head
200.
over to Naira
Andy.
Bets. Yeah, will match up to $200 your initial deposit. Use the promo code MATCH200. Sign up for Naira Bets. Support racing in New York. Today we have a promotion: $50 at Belmont and Lone Star. If you bet 50 at each track or more through the app, you'll get a $10 bonus. Of course, want to remind people as well on America's Day at the Races from 12:30 to 6. We'll be covering both Churchill and Belmont Park.
Had a nice little socially distanced conversation with my man Mike Luzzy yesterday downstairs. I stuck around for a little while yesterday, and you could bet on Little Luz, Lane Luzzy down at Lone Star Park. He's having doing a good job down there.
Race number 1. You and I neither of us are fans of the number 8 Momentia, who's going to take money because she has experience, and we'll head down to Laurel and take a look at her race. She lost to another Mike Matz horse, actually, another Mike Matz first-time star, Michael Matz, and I don't know. I don't see any reason why I'm supposed to not believe that there are at least a couple, if not more, firsters or first-time turfers in this race. They're just going to be better than this horse.
Other than, excuse me, other than the fact that this horse has a race under her belt, I don't know what there really is to like about it. It wasn't a very fast race.
Right.
I don't think anything's come out of there to
Well, it
do
was
any
August
kind of
28th. I
damage.
think a lot of
yeah.
horses have come back in the
That's
last
true. It's kind of quick, and that's the other problem too, right? It's. I mean, not that it's a problem, but it's just about 3 weeks. I think it's 23 days. So, yeah. I mean,
Experience will help, but I
guess
didn't see anything particularly compelling. You have your new way of looking up pedigrees. You're going to jump all over the half division perfect.
That's
Lily
my boy.
Simone.
He
Your
took
boy?
took a tough beat here in the Pilgrim. You remember that?
No.
In 2015 was the day
That was before he turned into the greatest horse in the world for Jason Service.
It was the day I had a cleft vocal
Shocking
cord.
form reversal
I
for
couldn't
him.
go on HRN. Acacia pinch hit for a few hours. I couldn't work because of my vocal
It's a
cord.
touching moment.
Manny Frank almost got the money here at like
Breaking the tears.
28.
28 to
You
1.
know what? It might have been the Hill
No,
Prince.
It was the Hill Prince and lost to
It was the Hill
he
Prince.
lost to the horse that ended up winning the Pimlico race.
The Dixie.
The Dixie, yeah. It was a
I
Carver's
can't-
horse.
yeah, it was Carver's horse.
Yeah, sat the pocket. It was on
Yeah.
a soft turf course.
Yep.
The only turf course. Yep.
This horse is
It wasn't a bob. It was a length and a
no.
half.
Yeah. This horse was is rumored to be one of Dave Donk's better ones.
Oh, really? You've got rumors on this? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I was told this.
Not only pedigrees, but rumors.
I was told that this is one of Dave Donk's better ones. Dave has been doing really well since the Saratoga meet. He's everything that's run the first couple of days here has run pretty well. So I'm going to take a little shot with Lily Samosha. Wow, she's 10-1 on the morning line. I don't think she'll be that high when all is said and done.
I was going to pick her, but I'm not picking the same first-time starters as you.
Okay.
I ended up with Taxamot, just guessing with a Chad Brown first-time starter. And second dam actually won on the turf, so hoping there's some turf here and hoping this horse is a runner for Chad Brown. The 5 Uptown Flirt is fine. I mean, I don't really have a knock on her. That
No.
Pal D, who beat her last time, is a very impressive winner for trainer Brad Cox.
And Plum Ali was rumored to be Christophe Clement's best
Well, she
2-year-old
came back and won
filly.
the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Fillies, and
She
she
did.
is actually pretty talented.
Yeah.
So she seems dangerous. What about Todd Pletcher's horse, Cadencia, a horse that we both have
We
somewhere
both
in the
have a
mix?
fourth,
The
right?
European,
Yeah.
the dam was a pretty good European, Tango Time. She ran here and Europe. She got 90 buyers and running here. It was pretty good. No production so far, but I think this is her second foal. There's some pedigree, and it seems like the Wishes have run.
Yep. I saw one win, I want to say, at Indiana Grand, and I saw a couple other ones actually run well. So, yeah, interesting opener. A lot of interesting races on this card
It was a
today.
very fortunate scratch for Anthony in the second race when the number 5 Stanhope came out of this race.
I don't know why you say
and
that.
he can actually focus on horses that can win, including the 4 Harris Bay. You know the problem with Harris Bay, and we'll take a look at Harris Bay's last race with Inside Info and Riken. I'm getting a little tired of Harris Bay not getting out of the gate. And Harris Bay didn't have any trouble last time. This horse just has issues getting out of the gate. And it always puts the horse behind the 8 ball. And I think this is a race that may be very much dominated by horses that are forward.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled about scratching into Harris Bay.
No, it's better than having Stanhope. So
Nah,
look
it's
at
not
that.
really.
Yeah, it is.
But look, we both think Andy Dancing can be okay.
We do?
Yeah, we
What
talked
am I
about it last
expecting? You
time.
think a couple of stakes?
No,
Maybe take on Volatile?
I don't know.
Or more than 2. You and I might want to rev up the horse suit, by the way. I think Volatile's going to find his next small field here in the Vosburg. What's going to happen when Volatile has to meet a bigger field in the Breeders' Cup?
I don't know.
I think it's going to be a very
And
different
other
story.
speed, more importantly, other speed, right?
Right, another speed horses,
Yeah.
right. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah,
I digress.
look. I scratch into this horse. I was looking. I was
the horse to beat,
looking for a
though.
little fuzzy. Oh, he's absolutely the horse.
I don't
to
think
beat.
Stanhope was the biggest fuzzy because a lot of people seem to like that horse.
okay.
So
All right.
think that horse is going to be that big a price. I don't.
Let me ask you this. I mean,
I'm kidding you. He had a chance to win.
Inside Info. Look, this race to me went from being a little fuzzy in Harris Bay to I get Harris Bay on top, but I don't feel comfortable with Harris Bay. And along the lines of Dave Donk horses running well. I mean,
Riken's a threat to wire the field.
Yeah.
And what's wrong with Inside Info? I thought
Nothing.
Inside Info ran very well, 2 back for Linda Rice, chasing outside of Riken and casting that horse in the stretch. And I just thought Inside Info was a horse that was improving for Linda Rice. I don't agree with David. This horse is not going to be 3-1. And maybe with a scratch now. But I don't know. I thought this horse would be maybe third choice or probably the similar price to Riken. I'm not sure why Inside Info is a much shorter price in the morning line. Do you disagree with that?
No, I think Riken will be short, right?
I would guess, but I think that they'll also be betting on Big Thicket, sort of on that false impression this horse getting back to Belmont will do well, when the truth about Big Thicket is he really didn't run very well on July 5th. He just got lucky to be second. Now his form fell apart in Saratoga. Maybe he'll regain it, but I'm almost wondering if he just came back ready to run for Rui Rodriguez and he's kind of a little bit sapped. I'm not saying he's impossible.
I agree with what you're saying. I wonder if he had him ready to roll, because his best race,
Was his
and I
first
know,
race.
and,
Yeah.
and to me, even though it's
When he
only a
should have been
2-point drop,
disqualified.
to me it's only a right. Well, I couldn't believe. I texted you. I was like, I can't believe I stayed up here. The second race, his speed figure only dropped 2 points, but in theory, he just kind of sucked up second to the
He was
Baffin
very,
horse.
very lucky.
So,
Well, he was
I
very
mean,
lucky to finish ahead.
yeah,
of Quick
to me
Flash.
it was there was a
Much
big
better
drop off from the first to the second race off the layoff, and the drop has just continued. Maybe getting back to Belmont will help him. He's my third horse now, but I have zero confidence he can come back to that form from earlier this summer.
Race number 3. You've got a couple of Chad Browns. You got a Todd Pletcher firster. And you've got Doug O'Neill horse. You know what Doug O'Neill's numbers? Did I put this up? You've got the 7-horse Chasing Fame in there.
I do.
I did not put it up. Doug O'Neill, for what it's worth, first-time starters in the turf, 5 to 6.5 furlongs. So you include the horses going down the hill. He's 2 for 42 with a 29-cent ROI. With 2-year-olds, he's 1 for 24. So this is not something he's had much success with.
It's
and
not.
That's why I left Chasing Fame out. It also doesn't have any turf pedigree.
But with all that said, he's still running this horse first time 3/4 on the turf, and this horse has a lot of fast works in the
Why
morning.
don't you run the horse
They
to
are.
dirt?
I don't know.
He didn't want to go a mile. There was no
don't-
6-furlong dirt
I
2-year-old
don't
race
know.
coming up. He wasn't quite ready at Saratoga. I don't know. It's weird. Because
weird.
It's really not a turf pedigree.
Well, he didn't
maybe,
start-
Maybe
his-
it's a prep for a dirt race.
His work tab didn't start till August 1st, so obviously he wasn't ready in Saratoga. But
Well, hang on a second. His first work is a bullet work at 34 and 3 breezing. So I'm going to guess
he
was
came
doing some
prepared.
work
Yeah, of
somewhere.
course. Or he was at very least ready. But it was curious to me that his work tab started August 1st, and it started with a 3-furlong move. So that maybe does lead me to believe a little bit of a late developer.
So I switched around the Chad Brown so as not to constantly pick the same horse as you, and you've got the one with the bigger pedigree in Realm of Law.
Yeah,
Judd
you know, I'm an old. I love my Juddmonte pedigrees and loved Falimbi when she was running
Remember
here.
Flimby's U.S. debut? Be careful. Either do or you don't. You don't have to lie.
And I don't remember the
Because you're
first.
gonna get
I don't
caught.
remember the first race. Yeah.
It was. The
Why do you
last-
try to catch me?
'cause I
You know,
like
if you
it.
let me explain
Usually.
something to you.
You didn't see the
If you
replay of
want
that
to
race,
continue, I
and
did
your
see the
opinion
replay
was
of that race.
embarrassing. You didn't see the replay
I
of the
did
race.
see the
Stop
replay of the
lying.
race.
Stop
But
lying.
I'm gonna, you know what?
I know your friend
I'm
taped it.
going
You're
to
gonna tell me your
stop
friend
the.
taped
No, it's not my friend. The guy owns the horse. He records all of his races.
Pinocchio
That's what
is
he
jealous
does.
right now.
That's
Pinocchio
what
is
he
watching
does.
the show
But
at
I'm
home,
going to tell you
and
right
he's
now.
actually
I'm
jealous.
going to tell you right now. If you continue to try to trap me, I'm going to get you.
But not before I get you 10 times first.
No.
Anyway, back to whatever we were discussing.
Falimbi's American debut.
Last race at Keeneland back in, I think, 2014. And the reason I remember it so well, Somali Lemonade beat this horse. I think might have won the Diana. Michael Mack
She
horse?
did come back to win the
I
Diana.
think she did, right?
You said
I remember-
2014?
I believe it was 14. It might have been 15, but I think it was 14. Because I know it was the year. It was 14.
Well, you did laughing win the
No, it
Diana.
was the 14 because I was involved in the Keeneland contest. My friend Nick Tamaro. It was
Okay.
the last leg.
Well, there you go.
And helped us do very well in that contest. I remember that. But
She was
finished
good. She
second.
was good.
She was very good. Yeah, she should have
was
won that
good.
day. And she's produced a publication who I think is that horse. No,
One
that
for
horse
two.
won, yeah, it's 1 for 1 actually.
I think the horse.
Careful.
I think he ran again.
You're down. No, but the production is 1 for 1 on the turf.
Oh, yeah, he's the only one. Publication's the only one.
Correct. Voter Protection's a half to 2 turf winners. Also a half to Musical Romance, who won the Breeders' Cup. Breeders' Cup Philly Fair
09?
Sprint. No, in 11 when I was at Churchill.
At Churchill,
I
11.
didn't use her and cost me the pick four.
Wasn't there a time where it was at Churchill like 17 years in a row? It was 2011, though. You're right. Yeah.
No comment. I actually like the Breeders' Cups at Churchill.
I think if you're not going to move it around, I think it should be made. I think Churchill should be the permanent place for it. If you're not going to bounce it,
I think Santa Anita is great.
I
I
just-
love Santa Anita. You just
I
never
like
been
the
to
fact
Santa
that it's configured. I like
I don't
places.
get Delmar and Keeneland, but
I like the places that are configured to run all of the races at their intended distances, and Churchill's one of them.
no, I agree with that. I agree.
One
They
turn
have the 1
mile,
chute.
7/8 out of the chute.
I
I
think
like
that's
all
a
of it.
very, very fair point. Anyhow, I just guessed with this one, just take the other Chad Brown runner, obviously probably be the longer price, don't have any information.
The only reason I even included the O'Neill horse because how fast the work tab is. And
I know, but there's no turf.
I know,
pedigree
Andy,
at
but you know
all in
what?
this
More
horse.
often than not, the Chad Brown horses, especially in the turf sprints, don't show an awful lot of speed first time out.
What
I
about
know
the Todd
the-
Fletcher first?
Yeah.
Fighting Force. What? This horse, Dam, was a multiple winner in the turf. She's produced a turf winner. She cost $400,000 as a 2-year-old sale. I mean, isn't Fighting Force supposed to be a runner? Do you think that horse might have some speed?
Yeah, I don't know.
What about the rail?
Rail's probably not fast enough if this horse runs to her works.
By the way, what about
Run to
Kentucky
his
Knight?
works.
She's so slow? He's
No.
not that slow, Kentucky. Well, I mean, seriously, Kentucky Knight has speed. Isn't he supposed to go?
When I see that work tab, I see Kendrick, and I
I
think
know you
this
see
horse-
Kendrick,
I
and
think
you.
this horse is going to
you-
go.
I would like to actually have a graphic of how many times Kendrick's actually in front in races, because you pick him as though he's in front 80% of the time. He's not.
Kendrick goes to the lead. Kendrick's aggressive, and on a horse with a work
He
tab
is-
like
he
that,
isn't.
I would imagine that horse is going to be forwardly placed.
I'd
today.
like to know what percentage of horses Kendrick rides are in front. I really would. I mean, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I don't think they're in front nearly as much as you think they are.
Okay.
I think Kendrick would agree with that. I think Kendrick gets a little bit of a moniker, a false moniker, as being a one-way speed rider.
Oh,
I'm not saying you're
I'm not saying that's
but
that. I'm saying I just think he's one of the best gate riders we have right now.
Race number 4, we'll take a look at Super Dude and Chief Know-It-All at Saratoga. Chief Know-It-All gets Luis Saez for this race. I thought Chief Know-It-All was helped by being inside.
Yeah, I remember you saying that after the race. We had discussed. I thought he ran pretty well at a big number. I thought he had a chance to stay. And yeah, you're probably right. I had
The rail was very good this. I had a tough time in this race too.
It's a 7-horse field. I would probably have a hard time seeing the Sakari win, and a hard time probably finding American Lincoln.
You get a piece though.
He could.
He's not a bad
The
horse.
other 5 though, none
don't
of them would
disagree.
surprise me.
So, you've got.
I just did it.
Well, while you're talking about Allure, we'll show Allure's last race. What Anthony's doing is Anthony's going to pick every horse. And I'm not saying this is a criticism. You're going to pick every horse that Orlando Noda saddles because even yesterday in a no-pace race,
He was flying again. Zonic was rolling at the end of the race again. So this
and
is.
I'd like to know anything I've said about these horses that is not 100% correct.
Nothing.
I know
You
that
haven't.
there's some gibberish.
You
by
haven't.
some
You haven't said
nonsensical
anything.
people
You just have to
on
tune
Twitter,
it
but
out.
Every
You have
time
to
these
tune it out.
horses run, they outrun their PPs.
You have to
and
tune
they're
it
just
out.
running. I mean, they want to stake with
So-
a horse that's a slow buyer.
This horse to me is.
Totally unreliable and ridiculous, but who knows?
But he has representative races from the winter that will beat these horses.
Oh, no doubt
and
about
when
it.
you combine form like that with the way the barn is going, and again,
He
I'm
was
going to
Van
tell you
Dijk in
now,
his last start back in December.
this is a little bit of a cop-out pick because
It's
I
a
had
total
such a
cop-out,
hard
but I
time.
get it.
I had such a hard time with the race. But here's the truth of the matter.
No, you're 100%.
I don't
right, fair.
trust any of them. So if I'm not going
Really?
to trust any,
I don't agree with that.
I don't
actually-
trust any of
I
them.
don't agree. See, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I trust Malibu Pro. I relatively trust Super Dude. I certainly trust Family Biz. I trust these horses. I'm not saying I
Okay.
disagree with your notion of just picking the Noda horses. You know, you got a horse that paid $10. You pick 2 of them. One paid $10, one finished second. I'm not going to knock you for it, and I totally get it. I'm not going to pick these horses because they're overbet. This horse was vanned off. He's got a low percentage rider, and but he'll probably win. And I'm not running the window to make a big bet against him. What I do? I pick my friend Family Biz. You know why? Because I know there's not a lot of speed on paper. I think the race is going to be a little bit more honest. Malibu Pro's probably going to go on the rail. Malibu Pro's in great form. I thought he was the worst to beat. I'm shocked you don't have him in the top 4. I mean, what is wrong with his good form?
Nothing.
You're a
There's
little
nothing
scared
wrong
of
with
this trainer? This horse has run well, too.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
I
with
mean,
it.
I'm not. Listen, I understand what you're saying. I've got the 4/5. You've got the 1/5, and both of us are going to say I'm not going to be shocked if the horses that we have 5th wins.
I'd be very. I'll say this.
Say this.
I'll be very surprised if Luis Saez doesn't put Chief Know-It-All on the front today. I'd be very surprised. I just don't think he wasn't
if
fast
he's
enough
aggressive
last
with
time.
him, there's
Yeah,
going to be an honest pace.
yeah. I
And
think
you'll
he's
need
going to
one
be
for
aggressive
Allure,
with him.
but-
I don't know how much I trust him, but I do believe he's going to be aggressive with him today.
Let me ask you a question. Has he been aggressive since we got back to Belmont?
No,
Not at all.
no.
I don't quite understand. I know he won a few races
No.
yesterday, but there have been some turf
He won
races
three
where he's not-
yesterday?
he was
Yeah.
very
Yep.
sort of tepid rides.
Una, the horse on Friday in the 9th race.
That seemed. I have a feeling
That was
those were
instructions.
I
Louis
don't
doesn't
think
do
that
stuff
was-
like that. That horse was run into instructions, I believe. Yeah,
He does.
I
He
think
did get buried in the rail in the second race.
I think this horse will be ridden aggressively today, so I think that puts some pace on in here.
We'll see. In the 5th race, I have a question.
Sure.
Did Boston Girl scratch because John Velasquez said, why am I right? When you look at this race, did anything make you laugh more than John Velasquez?
I was waiting.
being on
I was
Boston Girl?
waiting to see how much money he poured in on this horse. Right?
Maybe Jacqueline Falk is somehow related to the O'Briens, and they could say this is like a distant cousin or something.
Third cousin. That's
riding
great.
for them. I mean, this was like the craziest jockey assignment I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This
was it.
This was up there.
Yeah, that's a win. You know what? You're probably. I don't know if it's up there. I think it's
I mean,
probably
was there
the winner.
no rider available, so they just named Johnny? Because he was
Yeah,
never
well,
riding.
you know,
this
and
horse.
listen, with
Not to be unfair,
with
but
a closed
I'm not the only one that
with
saw
a
this.
closed colony, a couple of guys on suspension. You know, sometimes it's a placeholder.
Anthony. make a great point.
Yeah, sometimes it's a placeholder, and you wait to see what happens.
Great point of the meet.
It could be. You wait to see what happens with the scratches. Guys and gals will do that in stakes races a lot too. They'll have a placeholder rider in the weeks leading up to a stakes race, see what happens, and it's understood by the other rider.
Okay.
So
You've got, first of all, Anthony.
Yes.
Stop with Lucky Latkes. You've
No,
embarrassed yourself
no,
with
I'm
this
gonna
horse
get Lucky
twice in a
Latkes
row.
home.
No, you're not. You're
I'm
never
gonna
getting
get
this
Lucky
horse
Latkes
home.
home.
Unless Finger Lakes builds a turf course and builds it
They're
fast.
supposed to be doing that.
This horse is never going to win a race in New York. And even Christoph knows that. So stop with Lucky Latkes. You're wasting a slot.
I'm not.
And you've got Lucky Latkes ahead of 2 Cent Tootsie.
I do.
How much? I think we're at 56 lunches. 56 or 57?
56 or 50.
We'll say 56.
All
Okay.
right.
It doesn't matter. I'll give you 2 to 1. That 2 Cent Tootsie beats Lucky Latkes.
I'll take 2 for 4 then.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll take 2 for 4.
Okay. Lucky Latkes couldn't beat 2 Cent Tootsie unless she falls down.
Okay. I'll take 2 for 4.
You better hope you better hope the 2 Cent Tootsie falls down.
I don't hope.
Not that you're ever rooting
never
for
would
that,
hope
but
that.
Loses the rider or runs off the course.
I don't want to see anything happen to Lou either.
No, I agree.
Now I really just want to see Lucky. Could I switch to Lucky
Latkes is
Latkes?
one of the worst horses in the race. And Christoph knows it. 2 Cent Tootsie, she is way the horse to beat in this race. It's not even close, but she never wins. She just never. The funny thing about her is she actually ran some good races. Would it be a little colder up here? I've been in here in late October.
I'm going to tell you what turned me off of 2 Cent Tootsie today.
You were drinking when you handicapped the race.
First time tag.
So what?
First time blinkers.
So
to
what?
me, it all is just I got to try and get this horse out of the maiden ranks,
Well,
and
of
I don't want a
course.
horse that's going to be 2 to 1, 5 to 2.
I'm not picking the horse on top either, but this is way the horse to beat. I don't have a problem with picking against this horse. Obviously, I did it. But to have the horse fourth is a little bit silly.
Oh, I thought there were some more interesting horses in there.
Okay, well, we'll show Corded's last race, and I agree with you. Corded ran well in the context of this race. Rosie's Invasion, not particularly well. This was a race loaded with speed. I want to look at Running on Empty. See, Running on Empty, the horse I like, actually had some real trouble early in the running of the race and then got kind of blind squished in the stretch. And you see how Joelle cut the corner with Corded, and Running on Entry, who was sitting right behind Corded, suddenly found herself like 3-4 lengths behind. I think that Running on Entry actually might be a far more interesting horse than Corded and is going to be a much bigger price, and that's why I picked her.
I almost put Running on Entry ahead of. I almost left 2 Cent Tootsie completely off the board here.
You can embarrass yourself
Just
in any
to-
way you
just
see
to
fit.
try
I
and-
don't
just
let
to-
people.
well, I mean, I think this is a vulnerable favorite. I do.
You and David, you have the 11. She's so naughty because you got to pick a Rudy horse all weekend.
I
Be annoyed.
thought your horse was interesting, and I'm going to use Running on Entry and pick 4s and pick 5s. You mentioned She's So Naughty, going to stretch out.
Well, you're just.
You don't think this horse getting Jenna Joel out and stretching out a little bit? That's going to help the cause here.
You can take her stats. No, I don't think She's So Naughty is at all interesting stretching
Okay.
out. As a matter of fact, in this race, even though I do have her third. Rudy's got some good stats stretching out in the turn.
I'm going to tell you, man, I'm using a bunch of horses
Like
in here.
3 o'clock, I'm walking off the set and going home. Just so everybody knows, I'm
I'm
walking off the
using a
set.
bunch of horses in here.
Nice.
And keep in mind, you had a couple horses drawing off the 8s, the 13 and the 14 come in here. So, yeah, I thought a bunch of horses could win this race.
I thought that the 5 could win. And maybe, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You didn't put in Dave Dock getting in with 87 North, your main man.
We
We take a break and get through the last 5 races in about 3 minutes.
Whatever you want to do.
What? What did you want to say? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say I kind of wanted to shy away from the horses that have had a lot of chances and go to the horses that had lesser chances.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I agree. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll hear from our good friends at Saratoga Water, and we'll be right back.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. He is the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I am not. Race number 6 kicks off the late pick 5. Talking Horse presented by Saratoga Water. And we'll take a look at the horse experience. Valentium? Is that what you say?
Violent I Am.
Oh, Violent I Am.
I called him Valentium too the first time, and then Johnny I called him
thought-
Violent I Am, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
I don't like Violent I Am in here because I didn't think this was a particularly strong race, but also the rail was gold this day, and Violent I Am took advantage by spending almost the entire race on the rail, getting an excellent ride from John Velasquez, and I just have a hard time believing that some of these firsters, and there's plenty of interesting ones in here, are not going to be better.
There are, but this is the one instance. I don't know if they're as interesting as the horses in the first, so I
These are
will.
New York bred filly 2-year-old maidens. Those are turf horses, open turf horses. What do they have to do with that?
If you let me just tell you what I was going to say, I thought there was some more interesting firsters in that race as opposed to this race. So I will lean a little bit on a horse with experience in here.
Okay, I won't. I don't
Okay.
like this horse
That's
at
why
all.
I put the horse
I got
second.
the horse fourth, but I don't like this horse.
Like
She was
you,
on a
I'm
bad race and got an absolute dream
Okay.
trip that
She-
day.
listen,
and I think you're absolutely supposed
She
to play
had a
against
dream
this horse.
trip. She had a dream trip. You're not wrong about that
In a
at
slow
all. The
race.
favorite was the winner was 1-2 or something.
The horse who ran third ran a much better race than she did, and I'm not sure the fourth horse didn't run particularly
Okay.
better than she did. And the fourth horse would have been a big price had she run this race and not running on Thursday. You've taken the sort of obvious, the into mischief
Mm-hmm.
firster, for La Urbana.
Yeah, I have nothing really to say. Like you said, obvious. Asmussen 2-year-olds up in Saratoga were good. We'll see if that run continues down here at Belmont Park.
Dams produced 2 other foals. One of them won with a 79 buyer, was actually okay. I thought a very interesting firster is the 9, a bit of Irish sass. 2 out of 3 of the Dams foals were pretty good, and the Loud bands have been pretty good so far.
Loud bands have been, yeah. Loud bands have been pretty good. We both, you all, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Your girl, a Freuda Mama, half through a Freuda Mama.
Well, it's
Here, what's
not
wrong with
just a
her?
Freuda Mama with Stay Home Mama. It's 4 foals that could really run. I mean, they were strong horses. The Dam was a good horse, Mama Teresa. There's a whole lot of horses that
So
can run
where are
on
you
this
that
Dam.
sprinting? That
It's like-
horse's work tab's a little slow.
I don't care about the work tab with Mike Makers. How many Mike
Okay.
Makers have we seen with slow
No.
work tabs that come blasting out of the gate? I hear you, and I just didn't want to pick the 7, the same horse as you, and the horse is going to be a short price, and I thought he's got a slightly better price here. I almost picked the 9 on top.
I thought about the
Irish
9
sass.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of these 3 horses. I'm going to guess the firsters. I usually like experience. I don't like the one with experience in this race. And
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see. I know the work tab might take some people off this horse. One thing I didn't love. Stay Thirsty is not necessarily a speedy a type sire as some of the sires.
That's what worried me. The work
That-
tab, the sire. I don't know if this horse
That's
maybe
fair.
needs the first race. The other horse, if you're playing the early pick 5, the late pick 5 rather, the 8, Vive la Liberty. She's got a couple of nice gate works. She's going to be a big price. Pat Quick put over a first-time starter a couple of meets ago. We just got beat with Big Boy Mo yesterday. Pat
Dan
does a
was pretty
really good
good.
job.
Dan
Dan
was
was
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah.
She's 20-1 on the morning line in a race where Andy thinks that we both seem to think there's some interesting horses. She could be 30-1 lost in the shuffle on a tote board.
Yeah,
Maybe
if she's 30-1 though, she's probably not live.
Yeah,
Pat
but-
Quick's horses will take a little money if they're live. I hear what you're saying, but like when he had that firster win, the horse opened up short.
yeah, the horse got
Dylan
pounded
rode
with the
the
windows.
horse.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm
What about
just saying.
Tammy's Orchid for Barclay Tag?
Yeah.
You know, this horse is second foal. The first one got a 67 buyer. You see, it's got a buyer. Your initial reaction is it's not that fast. Well, these are New York breds. Well, how fast do they expect them to run?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like there's a second coming likely in this race. So we'll see what happens. I don't disagree. And I'll tell you what, Louis Cardenas is riding very, very well here.
It's riding like it was back in the winter.
Really riding well.
Maybe he likes the cold weather.
I don't.
I know you. I was going to say, unlike you. Anywho,
I'm very bitter.
late pick 4 time.
Late pick 4. We'll take a look at Zacapa and Bastet when they met 2 races back for Zacapa and 3 back for Bastet. As far as Zacapa, I can't forgive this horse's last race. Maybe she
What
wins
happened?
today. She was so bad last time. I don't know. Maybe she was sick or something.
We go back to the 90s and ask about the Euro. Could have been the Euro bounce. I mean, what happened last time?
She was awful.
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 Perfect trip and
I
awful.
know Bastet. I thought Bastet in her last race got buried in behind horses, never had a fair chance. And I do think she'll run well today. Aren't you getting is today the day that
Last
both
chance.
of us sign our divorce papers
Last
with
chance.
her?
But today's my last chance. She gets Joelle. She gets 6 from, right? You could say the 7 was too long. The
She's
6
gotta
and
win
5 and
today.
this is it. I'm not picking her after today.
She's got to run a big race
Yes.
today, and I'm just a little tired. I was going to pick her. I saw you picked her. I figured
Yeah.
I'd go in a slightly
I
different
was going to take
direction.
Zacapa, but
How
what
can you?
what
You can't
was
take-
that last
You can't
time?
take that horse. You know what horse I think is dangerous in here? the 6, Fly Fight Win for Jimmy Toner. This horse has a nice turf family. If you look at the pedigree, he's a war front, and got just in total trouble early in the running of that race. It just completely gave up, and actually was running fine for a while. I'm not going to be surprised when Fly Fight Win is actually okay.
First time Lasix cuts back. Yeah.
This horse could be a little interesting at a price. As far as the 12 Accurate,
Apurate.
excuse me. It's so good you're here. It is.
I'm sorry?
Here in general.
Say again?
Correct my pronunciation. I get them all wrong. You have that new track announce thing going. This horse was running buyer speed figures as a 2-year-old that are not that far off of the figures that the horses here are running, and those were 2-year-old races. I don't know if this is 6 furlong horse, but, you know, ran second beyond logic and reason. I know it was beaten a lot. Ran second to Lost Ticket. It was a decent enough horse for Belmont. Has improved since then. Got the prep race in the dirt. Obviously not a dirt horse. Goes to the right circuit. And I was just looking for somebody else. And I figured it's Todd Fletcher in the 5 to 8 to 1 range with a horse.
She's a must-use if you're playing late.
She may be too short for her, but I don't think she's necessarily not good enough, and I don't like the other ones here. I get, you know, David Aragona likes Translate. I don't want a horse out of that race. See, I disagree. I thought Behind Missy Blue is nobody. I know Yellen's run better, but this horse did run well first time out. I just didn't think this horse would class up to these horses.
Yeah, no, I took a pass on her as well at a short price.
Yes to Mischief was on a gold rail last time. I know
Yeah.
she's it's more of a turf pedigree dam side, but it's an Into Mischief, and it just feels like sort of a desperation move with Yes to Mischief at this point.
Yeah.
Not saying the horse can't win. I won't listen. I'm not going to be shocked when a horse like Yes to Mischief wires the field. I'm not going to be shocked when Graham Motion wins with the number 4 All-American Dream. He is 6 for 50 for what it's worth with turf, 5 to 6.5 furlong turf. First-time starters.
Okay.
3-year-olds, though, he's 0 for 13 and wins with 2-year-olds.
I think the 2 interesting horses in here, I put Zakop in the middle, but I think Apurate, and this is my last chance with Bistet.
You know who's got a funny turf pedigree in here?
Who's
Rapido Gatto. I know he's an Adios Charlie, but the dam is 4 for 7 with their turf production, and they were actually okay. I'm just pointing it out. You know, the horse is $1 million to 1. I'm just pointing out that horse has some pedigree. Because I think the thing about this race, Anthony, and that's why a horse like David picking Translate here, and he made Translate 4 to 1. David made Translate 4 to 1, and he picked the horse. Didn't you think the horse would be a bigger price than that in here?
I did.
He's usually right.
I'll tell you what I was surprised at.
I would use the horse at 12 to 1.
When I saw Apurate at 6 to 1, I'll tell you what. At 6 to 1, I might be betting. I thought she'd be. I
don't agree with David about Translate. I think he's wrong with that.
I thought her and Translate would be flip flop at the very least.
Yes to Mischief's going to be short, maybe. I don't know. It's a listen. I wouldn't want to make the morning line. I do a much worse job, right or wrong. Race number 8, French Reef. We'll take a look at the rocket ship known as French Reef in this race. She's going to have her hands full, though. This is an unusually tough non-winners of 1.
It is.
This is about as tough a non-winners of 1 type race as you're going to find.
He came back off that long break, and he was good last time out. They tried getting him in a couple of spots. One time it rained off. Another race didn't go, and now he finally gets the race to go. The wind is literally howling. He's fast. I think he's the speed of the speed. I think he's a really nice horse, and I'm always rooting for my pal Louis Lazanaro. I think he's got a good one here.
He does have a good horse here, but he's in a very, very compromising position because he's a very fast horse that is tricky. And he's got a horse outside of him in Faya. Is it Faya?
I believe it's Faya.
We'll take a look at this race at Laurel. Don't make a mistake and not think this was a legitimately fast race, because it was. And it was a better race, really, than French Reef ran. Do you know how much money they paid for this horse?
I don't.
This horse was sold, I believe, the horse at Racing Gate sale for $400,000.
Wow.
Rob Masiello bought a turf sprinter for $400,000. That's what I believe I read. I could be wrong, but I thought I read that they paid $400,000 for this horse. Let me tell you something. Mata, the horse who finishes second, and there's 100 back. When do you see these kind of gaps in turf sprints? Mata probably would have won with a cleaner trip in an allowance race up in Saratoga in a subsequent start. This is a very, very good horse. I mean, you don't pay that kind of money unless you think there's a chance you can get this horse into Breeders' Cup turf sprints. $400,000 is correct, as a matter of fact. So you've got French Reef's got to deal with Faya, and I'm not convinced that French Reef's going to be a significantly shorter price. and they're both speed-type horses, and you've got Yes and Yes, who's got speed on the outside. So doesn't that raise the possibility that a couple other horses could be running, like Wild Medagliadoro, and we'll go back to 2019
Perhaps.
at Aqueduct and show, first of all, Wild Medagliadoro has stumbled the start of this race, but also finished behind Front Run the Fed in a race that was very much run forwardly. And now he's going to get some pace, and while I think he's a better dirt sprinter, and I think Mark Cassie would agree with me, this race came up, and I think at the end of the day, what he is a better sprinter, and he can run on the turf, too.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, his turf numbers are better than his dirt numbers, and his turf races are all at a distance.
They are and they aren't. I mean, the reality with him is that he stumbled to start, and he caught a very speed-friendly racetrack with a very slow first score last time. He ran a huge race last time. Huge.
On the dirt. Oh, yeah. No,
and his first two races were
it.
actually two of the best races he ran. They were just his first two starts. You're right. His turf figures are faster, but it's not really clear.
I mean, his races 2 and 3 back. I mean, Colonel Liam ran 100 buyer figure that day, and that Mugs-O-Matic.
So.
Yeah, Mugs-O-Matic is Mugs-O-Matic's a knock-around stakes horse, state-bred stakes horse down in Florida. So he ran against some decent horses.
Well, he beat the last Zip in Value Engineering. Was Value? No. Value Proposition. That was a nice ride he got up at Canada yesterday. Shipped him all the way up there for the guy to be in front.
Were the horse's worst races when he was on the front end?
Right. I think this horse is going to be tough.
He saw that daylight yesterday, and that was the end of it. That long run on that 1-turn mile.
You got to find a way to get him buried. You got to find a way to put him. It's not easy, but that's what you got to do. What about Chilean Charge? Why is this horse impossible? This race falls apart. He was actually okay on the turf, this horse, and his turf sprint was all right. Good enough to beat me by a nose for a lot of money.
I'll be honest. I thought French Reef and Fire.
I think you saw your friend's horse.
We're just better. We're just better than right. I had a little tunnel vision here, and I think they're going to be. I think they're going to speed away from these horses, and I think it's going to be left to the two of them.
Good luck with that, because I think there's a lot going on in this race. I think Chilean Charge is another horse that has a chance in here at a bit of a price.
Okay.
I am not going to get myself caught up. I'm not knocking French Reef. He's very good, but Faya may just be better too, and he's also got a lot of speed. This is a giant test for this horse. And I wonder if French Reef is a horse that if things don't go his way, he's not going to be
we may very well find out today.
Race number 9.
I picked the number 9 and number 9.
Olendon. We'll take a look at Olendon hanging like a chandelier last time out. Aren't you a little tired of this act?
Yes.
Come on.
I'm not going to say I'm not.
This is a boorish act of this horse.
I am not going to say I'm not, my friend.
Chad Brown has found out that because you're going shorter, she settles better, but she still hangs. Not that Xanthique's a bad horse, but
that's the ultimately why I put her on top, right? Really Xanthique, Lady Lawyer, new and improved, Concrete Rose. She's just run against better horses.
Concrete Rose never ran this year, did she?
No, they're selling her. They're selling her in November. She never made it back.
That's a shame.
Last time was Saratoga, right? When she won the Oaks last year.
Yeah.
She's just been running against better horses, and
I wish I could take a hot shower.
She gets Jose Lascano. Jose Lascano, she's a little rank too, at times, and Jose gets these horses to settle. I like the rider change to Jose today.
She settled because when they went shorter, they went faster, and she didn't get his rank. But the reality is, she still doesn't win. No, she might win this race.
I think she just.
I think she's going to lose to this horse, Madeline Must.
Okay.
We're not showing a replay. We'll show you a stat, though. I love the stat for Christophe Clement. He has very good numbers with his turn back specifically to 6 furlongs on the turf, where he's 10 for 34, almost 30%, and a 220 ROI. Her first race wasn't that great. I won't disagree. I thought she ran fine last time against better horses, and he does well in these turnbacks, so I'm going to hope the turnback works for her. She's sort of really the only other place to go in this race. I can't find anywhere else to go. Can you?
Back in her Euro, no, 2s and 9s. Back her Euro form, she's a little.
I'm going to use a little Creasy.
Use my girl. You can use Creasy. You see from Rose Flower and her PPs as well, Madeline Must, who's now in the down the Shedrow with her. Yeah. I don't know. She never ran 6 furlongs in Europe. He's cutting her back to 6 furlongs. This is the first time she's going to face 6 in her career. Maybe that'll help her. I had a tough time getting past the 2 and the 9 in here. You and I just basically flip-flopped them.
I agree. They look like the two horses in here. I really didn't see anywhere else to go. I mean, Tipple's in good form, but she's beating tougher horses. And Lee Guitar, I mean, she was lucky to beat Fetching last time out, and she's just not very good. I know she goes back to George Weaver's barn, but I don't know.
I'll say this
Let me
about
ask you a
Lee-
question.
I'm gonna say
Whose
this-
barn was she in Saratoga?
Eddie Keneally.
Well, yes, she shipped for Eddie.
Yeah.
But she went right to George's barn after, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But, like, it's not like George Weaver's on fire. He won 2 races.
The only thing I'll say about Lee Guitar is this. She came back in 18 days when she won at Saratoga last time, and the short comment broke through the gate. She was unruly.
Yeah, it was just a non-effort, though. It was almost like she didn't put any effort forth in the race.
I understand, but you go through all that, you get on the van, you ship, you run back 18 days later, and you get the job done. I think she has better races than one she had last time. I just don't know if she's good enough.
Last
to
year
keep-
she was
yeah.
good. And last year she probably would have been favored in this race.
And I think she's a little dirtied up by the last 2 starts because of the fact that they were so close together and she had problems in the first one. So I would not completely, if you're looking for a third horse, she would be the third horse for me.
Okay, fair enough. Kept True looks like the speed in here. There's not much pace.
No, there's not.
But she's got no pedigree
Zero.
for turf at all. I mean, she's
Zero.
got negative turf pedigree.
I joke around all the time. Sometimes you could fake it on the turf, and the turf sprints more 5.5. Problem is, she's not going to have. She'll be in front, but. I
What do
don't
we
know
do
if-
in race number 10?
finale?
Who'd you pick?
I went to the Ocho.
Okay.
She's a black belt.
Is she?
I don't know. I was watching the Karate Kid before I came over today, though, so it's kind of.
I
kind of a
noticed it
hunch.
was on, I think, Showtime On Demand.
Yep.
And
It's
you
on
know what?
Showtime.
Just-
All the Showtimes.
I'm going to pull an Anthony Stabile, and I'm still not going to watch it.
That's awful.
I just.
I
There's a lot of
don't
good
even.
stuff to watch.
There's just. I don't.
I haven't even
there's-
seen the new Charlie Kaufman movie on
There's
Netflix
no
yet.
words.
I tell you
for
what, if
being
you watch
a
the new
50-something.
Charlie Kaufman, there's no words for a 50-something man watching The Karate Kid. But forgetting about that, if you watch the new
I
Charlie
mean, you
Kaufman
watch
movie
it on
Netflix,
accident.
If you watch the new Charlie Kaufman movie on Netflix, and I'm going to call your mother, and I'm going to find out if you actually watched it, then I will watch The Karate Kid. Okay?
Deal.
Okay.
You got a deal.
You liked Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, right?
Yeah.
Great movie.
You got a deal. What's the name of this thing?
Something I want this to end.
I'll
or
Google it.
something.
All right, that's fine.
I'll text.
You got it.
Okay. Deal.
You got it.
Anyhow, you like She's a Black Belt?
Yeah, and you're not watching this Jackie Chan, Jaden Smith version. You're watching the original with Pat Morita and Daniel LaRusso, just so you know. That we don't even acknowledge.
Do you know I sat?
The other thing is we get
was Hillary
acknowledged.
Swank in it?
Hillary Swank is in the next Karate Kid, which is the 4th installment of the series.
I sat next to her at dinner one night.
Did you?
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah, she is great. Million Dollar
She's
Baby.
great.
Boys Don't
Million
Cry.
Dollar Baby.
Million Dollar
Boys
Baby's
Don't Cry. Million Dollar Baby's amazing.
So is Boys Don't Cry. She is terrific.
Fly there, drive back.
Anyway, why do you like this horse? Don't think I'm letting you off the hook. Give us a reason. Come on.
I don't want to look. I just want second off the layoff. Another horse who's probably kept better company in her career. I don't know. This is just a. What
This is
what
a
price
mess.
is she? This is a tough race. I mean, this is. I left half the field open here. Yours can win.
I like this horse on the
Yeah?
outside, the 10 super cute. You know, maybe this was just well, no, not maybe. This was a horrendous claim that's already been confirmed. Horse it for 16,000. But why are we so sure that this is a turf horse? I mean,
I'm not. I don't think this was a turf horse.
we
at
know
all.
the horse is a turf horse. We're not sure what level of thoroughbred she is at this point. And I just thought getting back to the surface, and I don't disagree with the 8 horse and the 7, but I just went to this race and I went, oh, this one looks
1,
like
4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, you really did a lot of handicapping here. What?
What are you gonna
These
do?
people need opinions from you, Anthony.
I listen. She's a black belt. I think is the best of the bunch.
the
I
4,
do.
Wicked Title, you got her in here.
Yeah.
She was good last time. The 5? Yeah, the 5?
See, that last race
Gesture?
for Wicked Title, that was a weird race where they tapped out on Lady Chicot. She went to the lead and the race was over. So I'm interested in horses
Anthony,
coming out
they
of
didn't
that
tap
race.
out on Lady Chicot.
She was 15 to 1 more line. She was 6 to 1 going to
She
the
paid
gate.
8-1. They didn't tap out on her number
Okay.
one.
She
She
was
was
half her
alone
price.
speed, so David made her a bad blind. It happens. And she didn't do any running whatsoever, so don't give me that Lady Chica something. Anyway,
2 to 1 in that race.
Good luck to you. All right. We done? Freezing out
done.
here for the day? Well, I'm done. I'll be freezing out the other set in a few hours. I'd like to have like a little igloo around me or something for the show. Kyle, would you build me an igloo for the late show? You
Should start
need to
singing
go to
Frozen
Naira Vet.
songs. Do you want to build a snowman?
You've actually seen Frozen?
No, but I know the songs because I have friends that have kids, and it's all you hear is Frozen in the back. I do have an Olaf shirt though, from a kid's
Over
party.
to
From a kid's party I went to.
If you're not a member, were you working the party? Use the
No.
promo code MATCH200.
Hasn't gotten that bad yet.
I'll be doing it this winter. Sign up for Naira Bets will match them at $200 your initial deposit. What else do we got?
50-50. Wait, hold on a minute. No, that's not it.
That's not it, guys. That's Friday. Today's Sunday.
50 Lone Star, 50 Belmont Park.
You know, I was just going to say, Ben, in his first full day TDing, had done an unbelievable job. And then, I still think he did a great job. But
Ben
then
did
as
it,
we
yeah.
got to the last slate,
There it is.
there was a mild
He
fumble.
got there.
I mean, that's like,
That was nothing.
you were so close.
That was nothing.
No, I agree. Tremendous job. You done?
Yeah, man.
See you Thursday? I'll see you. I'll talk to you before.
I'll see you, but I will see you Thursday. Yes.
You can watch all the races, all the action on America's Day at the Races. Go to somewhere. If we had a slate.
Go to
tell us where-
Naira.com and they have all of the
/TV
broadcast information.
stuff or whatever. Find out where to see. You can always see it on YouTube Live. If you can't find the stations. I think we're on Fox Sports 1 early and 2 late, MSG Plus, as well as other regionals. John Imbrial, the voice of New York Racing, up in just a few minutes with a reprise, the scratches and changes.